Welcome back to another video here. Today we'll be going over the CDL and what we can do to make it better and their big announcement that they have came out with. If you're coming back often or liking the content, let me know by clicking the like button down below and the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you know when I upload. Check the description for the Discord server link where we chat about various topics, let you guys know when I'm live or videos coming up, and the Twitch link where I've been streaming Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, Helldivers, and more. And with that, let's get right into the video. The CDLs came out with a statement saying outstanding entry fees will be eliminated. That is the $25 million to enter into the league. That has been eliminated, and what they have paid in, they will get back. So that is a good sign for the league in general, because that is a big thing with the league. Many teams didn't want to join because that hefty price tag. So that will allow more teams to join. And yep, we got that down. They are increasing the subsidy amounts for teams who organize LAN events, making it easier to have LAN events, and they stated that they are getting a 2-year minimum deal of revenue to promote teams supporting the league. They are also going to earn more money back on the in-game bundle and champs bundle, which before they were earning a very small percentage of their in-game, like Rainbow Six and a lot of games. Whatever you, like when people buy the in-game bundle of, like, let's say a Space Station Gaming, they get all the proceeds go to that team, I'm pretty positive. So for the teams in this league not to get the majority of it, especially being a franchise league, like, they should be getting the majority because that's the fan base they're drawing, and they should be profiting more than what like the Call of Duty League is. And with the Call of Duty League, they are been profiting because like COD has been growing as an esport really much. So the teams have been falling off, and a lot of them had to take a lot of budget cuts, even though the league was prospering and doing way better. So that is like the biggest thing they got to worry about, because why is the league prospering and doing so good, but the teams aren't making money? So there has to be a disconnect in the terms there. But this is great news for the growth of the CDL. It looks like we will be getting more teams in the CDL if Activision allows it, which will help the growth of the esport and make more money for everyone. And people who want to get out of the league, like maybe an LAG, a Carolina Royal Ravens, can get out, and actually someone can come in their spot, or they could just sell their spot off and just leave. They don't, because like before they had to sell, hey, this is $25 million. Like, that's a big thing that you have to sell people on, and you can't sell people on if they're not going to make money off of it. So you had no bargaining chip. But now that the entry fees are done, they should be able to get out of the league way more cleaner. So that is a positive sign. This looks like the foundations of the city is not going to happen anymore, like a Toronto Ultra, a Optic Texas. They'll probably go back to like Optic Gaming, and LA Thieves will probably go to 100 Thieves. But Toronto Ultra, I like the Toronto Ultra branding. I think they might keep that since they are up in Toronto. I think they might keep that, but we should see. But like Seattle, they will go back to probably Lumosity Gaming, something like that. The teams and like making yourself the city, that is probably going to be gone. And I mean, some teams like Minnesota, they might keep that, but they are a G2 esports, so they might go to G2 now. So it'll be interesting to see if teams keep the city name or if they just get rid of it. Activision owns the right to Call of Duty, so no one can start up their league or leave the CDL and just say, hey, I'm going to run the tournament and league on my own. You can't do that because Activision will have to like give you their blessing, basically. But now that Activision has compromised and has tried to make it better for the teams, back to like this thing, you go to a mechanic to fix your car because the mechanic is an expertise in that field and is very intelligent in that field. Just like in Call of Duty, there's third-party vendors that run tournaments, and they are very good at their job. They have been running a lot of events, and they know what they are doing. But you see this in an event like Miami, where most I've heard from the professionals that event has been one of the worst events they've ever had. So that is one thing to really look forward to. Like, yes, there's always going to be one event or a couple events that are going to be bad. Like, there's always has to be a worse, but like, we're 5 years into this thing. We should not be like having a really bad event mid-year in that. So, but I think it really has to go to the people at Activision that just haven't done this before. They have let a lot of people go, fired a lot of people. So I think it has to go back to them just not having enough experience to be running this. And I hope now that they're going to probably let some more go, that they bring in third-party vendors that actually know what they're doing and they can run the events correctly. And then the rest of this video will be the reason for change, for expansion, and the ideas to keep this league improving, because it is a growing esport. There is a lot of people that's been coming to the events. A lot of lands has a lot of people. More YouTube videos have been doing way better with the COD. I mean, it's a lot more people have came into this league, especially with the franchising, which a lot of people I think came in during BO4. That's mainly when I came in, was during the BO4 year, and that was a just absolute awesome year. Like, the game was great. The Call of Duty was good. It was Sims rookie year, and that game was great. It was kind of a hybrid system what we have now, where you kind of had some open brackets, but there was more structure than it was like back in like AW days and that. But it wasn't like full on pro teams like it is now, where there's a set 12 pro teams. There was kind of like that in BO4, so it'll be exciting to go back to that hybrid type style. With this change, a lot of that has came down to a lot of teams losing money, so they had to bargain for more money, because like LAT, they won champs. Like, I'm sorry, you can have a good team, but if you win champs, you should be able to like carry that team for a bit. Like, I know they did for a year. They ran it back in Modern Warfare 2, but then right after Modern Warfare 2, you heard they need budget cuts, and then Octane retired, and they just couldn't retain the other guys, which they were probably getting a lot more money other places, but like, they had to take a major budget cut when it came to team members this year. And a lot of the bottom teams are on minimums, which I get that. Lower teams are going to pay less most of the time. But if they're going to put less effort into the matches, and they're still, I mean, esports, you need to win to make money. And them not putting any effort in, they're not going to win any money if you're just not going to put any effort into your teams. And like, LAG is ran by one person. Like, they literally, right now, they're just not funding people, because the teams had no reason to fund people, because they weren't even sure if the league was still going to go on after this year or next year. So this stating that the league is going to go on for a while is going to help teams invest into their teams more, get better players, really try out players. They're going to go for them deals so they can try out, this amateur player. They're going to get a pro-am team where they can play amateur players, and they have that for a substitute bench. And we're going to see a lot more teams form and a lot more people come in, like TSM, Rise Nation coming back, Cloud9 coming back. There's going to be a lot of teams, I think, that's going to be really invested into this esport next year, and it's going to be exciting. And like the whole Dallas Optic merger, like Hex had to party with Envy, which that was like a rivalry back in the day, and they had to partner together because Hex himself had to get investors just to buy his own, buy a spot back. And it was just crazy how Hex, one of the biggest names in the game, had to go through so much just to get a CDL spot back. And some of the teams, this comes down not the CDL, but some of the teams struggle with money. With Seattle being very bad at money management, FaZe offered $500,000 for Pred last year. And I get you don't want to give your best player to one of the best teams, but along with like Ilya, that's just by getting dropped, they must have burned that bridge with him. And how they handled the whole Octane situation, you can't tell me no one wanted Octane throughout 2019-20, especially like Modern Warfare year. Like, I get like, okay, play him half a year and like get some subs on your bench where you sub in some amateur players, because it clearly ain't working, the team you put together. So if you're not going to build around him, you got to sell him so you make some money off, and then you can build around your next person. And with the whole Illy situation, I wonder if Minnesota just did not want him. But if Minnesota wanted him and they just kept jacking up like the buyout, like that makes no sense. Like they need to make a compromise there, and they did not. But maybe it's just an Illy thing, and that he's just not ready right now. And a very different contract situation I want to talk about here is like a mercenary or like gun for hire contract where like teams can sign players to a contract for a stage, a year, multiple. Like I want to know how many years the player has on each team. So like did Ghosty sign a 2-year deal with LAT, or is it just a 1 year? Like I want to know that, and that would be fun to talk about, because it's like, okay, this guy has a 1 year left, so next year he's going to be basically a free agent. Or okay, if he wants to move here, they're going to have to buy him out or do something like that. So I feel like that would be good to know for public knowledge. And then for like contract for a stage, that will give more people better times to sign subs on, so they play with them for a stage. They're like, okay, it didn't work out for that stage, okay, we don't need you, but you get paid that contract right there just for that stage. And I think that would help the situation, help get more people into the league, because like some teams, they're just not doing anything. Like LAG, their team is okay on land, but like online, like they are just bad. Like there has to be something that's going on online that is just checking them. And the going back to the revenue made from team packs is split evenly across the teams. A large part of that money should go to the teams themselves, because if they have marketed their team, they should earn the most money from that bundle. Like Optic clearly is going to make more money than all other teams, which they should. They have been building their brand for 10 plus years now. Like they're no duh, they're going to have more branding than a lot of other teams, but that gives other teams more incentive. Okay, hey, we're the new team coming up, like let's get our branding out. A lot of like I see everyone basically running a different kind of skin. I see some New York skins, I see Optic skins, I see LAT skins. Like that stuff is fun to see when you're in ranked play. You see all the fans there. And on a side note here, I want the teams themselves to be able to design weapon camos, like, because some of these basic camos that come out, they just don't look that good, I think. And let the teams, like if the teams want a really fancy design, let them design that. Like that would be really fun, really cool to see like their custom designs coming in. And I think that would be a change that would help out. And then now we're going to get into expansion. There are no more European teams in the league right now. It was fun to see like a Paris, London, when London had a major and had European players, and they had a real chance of getting a shot. Like Wee Man and multiple other people in Europe need or could be picked up. Like they're good enough to get picked up, but they just aren't because they're in EU. They need a visa. And on the visa situations, with European players needing a visa because they are getting paid to work over here technically, the visa should be through Activision, so that if a player does get a visa for the year, they can play for any team. They don't have to just play for that team. So like kind of like Beans had a visa for Boston, so he can come back to Boston and play for Boston, but he does not have a visa for like Optic Gaming, so he would have to do a whole new visa to come play for Optic. So that is what I'm meaning. I don't know how this legally would work, but I hope they can work with that. Get a visa where, hey, we're here, if he plays for any of these teams, he is okay. And I feel like that would help the European players even more. And then next, with teams don't play enough. Most teams only get to play 1 to 2 times a week if they're lucky, and it's online matches. And teams, I feel if we're going to have this online stuff, they need to play at least 2 to 3 matches a week. And have it like be 3 weeks, or have it be like 4 weeks, they get at least 2 matches a week. Even with the 12 team right now, that is what they play 2 times, that'd be 8 matches. That's even more than they play now. And it would be great because that is at least like 9 matches over a weekend, 10 matches over a weekend. That's great, good content, and it will really help the teams grow because they'll be playing more, helps them get more reps. And with keeping it fresh, I think the meta should change sometimes throughout the game, like in ranked play right now. We have the BP-50, the MTZ-556, the Ram 9, and it is so fun in rank play right now. Like, I don't think I have not played that much rank play since the new season of Rainbow came out, but now I'm coming back to rank play just to play for this because it is so fun using them new guns because it's just something different. It changes it up after playing for so long on like just running the MCW or Rival 9. It's good to have a little change of pace and run something else. And the guns are good. Like, I really feel if we would have did this 2 weeks earlier, where it was mid in the time where between Major 2 and Major 3, there was a good chance maybe a weapon change comes in. Because, like, the Holger, that is a great S&D weapon for long range. The Ram 9, that is really good at close range, but you can't hang even mid to long range with it. But close range, you're gonna melt them. And then the BP-50, everyone thinks there's gonna be 8 BP-50s on the map, but when I use it, I hardly see. I mean, there's usually 2 players on each team running it, but that's fine because there's still a Ram 9, there's a Rival being ran, and like an MCW or a Holger. Because if you're a slower AR, you don't want a BP-50, you want that Holger. So that is something to look forward to. I hope they keep these guns in for longer than a week, or bring them back another time, because this has been so fun to use new weapons and not just have to use the MCW, because there's only been one AR in the game, and especially with them both getting nerfed. It just has felt different since they have got nerfed. And then our final 2 sections here are tournaments for next year. I hope we get expansion to where there's 16 teams, where we can kind of do like 16 team pro teams, 16 like amateur teams, and then let's do the 16 teams get in, then the top 4 from amateurs get in, and then there's a 20-team bracket just going at it. Something, I don't know how the bracket would shake up, but just something like that, that would be great. I want to see at least 6 to 8 tournaments next year. We only have 4 this year, and then we had, I think, 5 last year, and that's just not enough. Like, I think in AW we had 12 or 14 tournaments. Like, we don't even need that many. Like, that many would be exciting, but we need at least 6, or at least 6, I would say. Like majors, and then maybe 8, just cherry on top. But I don't know if we'll get that. And then challenger scene, I think the challenger scene will be way better now that it has came to this. It will be more of a grind still, but I think they're going to be in good hands with having more Pro-Am tournaments. Hopefully this means, since third-party vendors are coming back, hopefully this means 2Ks are coming back, 5Ks. So there's always COD going on throughout, the weekend. And hopefully I don't think we're going back to the CWL. I think we're basically going to have a hybrid of the CDL and the CWL, but it's still under the CDL name. So with that, let me know down below what you guys think of these changes. Division, I think it is. Let me know your opinion down below. Do you guys think we will have expansion coming into the next year? And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. DVD.
30 seconds remain.
They're all pushing ice cream.
They're taking B.
2 on B.
The enemy is low on reinforcements. Seconds. We have secured the field. Mission accomplished.